Well. Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Olive, otherwise known as Tommo, live. I am live. Welcome to the stream, everyone. How we doing? Thank you all for coming. What's good, chat? Graham, Tim, King Andre, I Play, Tobias, Supermax, Joel, Fubble, Frabble. What is going on with your names, you lot? You're weird, bruv. Timothy, Gulk, J25, Pablo, Luke, Saranush, Righty, Ben, Jin, Feck, Louis, Jack Grealish 69, Graham, Samarth, Booster, Paid, Simon, Ben, Gold, Rasmus, Daniel. Thank you everyone for coming. Welcome to the live stream for the pre-race for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, everyone. It's good to be back. Good to be back. It always feels like an age when I haven't, like when there's a week off. It feels like ages when I get back into. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. You know what I mean? But thank you all for coming. Thank you all for still keeping me relevant. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. Also, question. Actually, I'm going to put this. Put it in a poll, right? Because as you can hear, there is some music in the background, some royalty-free music, and I just wanted to get an idea. What do you lot prefer? Because it's all well and good asking this question on Twitter or YouTube community, but obviously a lot of people who follow me don't interact with the live streams, and that's fine. But you lot are actually here, so I'd rather hear from you lot whether you like a little bit of background music in the back or not. You know what I mean? I've just got some like royalty-free like trap instrumental in the background, which I'm cool with. Okay, so it's like a 70-30 split at the minute. Interesting. Thank you, Reese, mate. Early with the donos with a 199 USD. What is a Chinwag? A Chinwag is a chat. What does Chinwag... Chinwag... I don't know where it actually comes from. Where does... Because it's not rhyming slang, is it? It's not rhyming slang. I don't know. Does anyone know the origin and meaning? I'd imagine it's meant as a describe a chin moving up and down. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Your chin, as I talk, my chin, it's wagging. You could say. Is it wagging really? I don't know. That's what it is anyway. So it is quite a literal. It's a literal meaning. So there you go. Welcome to the Chinwag, everyone. Thank you also. Hang on, the dono's going off. Trent, mate, 20 Aussie dollars. I've done nothing, Trent. What have I done to deserve your money? Thank you, mate. Ready for the Checo dominance? Hey, look, we'll see. We will see. We shall see. We'll talk all about that. Because I think my video yesterday got a lot of you gassed up about Sergio. And you know what's funny, right? So if you haven't seen, right, I put out a video on the channel. Hang on, let me do a bit of a. If you haven't seen it, then watch it after this, okay? If you haven't seen it, then I'm deeply disappointed, because why would you not watch my videos? How dare you call yourself a true fan? I can't believe you'd do this to me. I put out. Hang on, let me get this nice little freeze frame. There we go. Boom, and get the old screen share up. Lovely jubbly. Window capture. That's what I want. Sergio Perez. The story so far. Why he has a very, very, very good relationship with BAKU. So if you haven't watched this video, go and watch it. Do like a live stream reaction to my own video with old Sergio Perez. Boom, unlucky show. Can't win them all, mate. These things happen. But he does have a very good relationship with BAKU. So hence why I made the video, because I was like, you know what? Checo 2 on the bounce. I think now's as good a time as ever. You know what I mean? Isn't it no, it's Chinwag. I need to shave, don't I? Getting a bit hairy. Thank you, Rowney, mate, for the 179. Much appreciated, my friend. Buddy, thank you. But yeah, now I can copy strike myself. Exactly. I'm allowed to react to my own content. Reaction channels are a cancer on YouTube as far as I'm concerned. People who just watch other people's videos to make money and don't put any creative effort into their own stuff. But there you go. I can watch my own stuff because I'm just cannibalizing myself. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that recently I've discovered a bit of a love of ginger beer. But you know what? Because I've got this one, right? This is some fancy Fentimans. Like that, right? Fentimans ginger beer. Boom. Not alcoholic, even though it's beer. This is the only beer that I like. I hate normal beer. But actually, I'll be honest, I prefer the Tesco 60p for a 2 litre bottle ginger beer. I'll be honest, I actually prefer the taste. This is all right. But no, I prefer the cheap Tesco stuff. There you go. Yeah, I know I hate beer, Sven. I know. I wish I loved beer because there's so much more option. You know what I mean? There's so much more variety available. But I don't. So I'm a cider man. And I don't mind a bit of wine. Thank you, Robert, mate, for the 20 Canadian. Appreciate it. Be in Canada soon. Not long now. Exciting. Thank you, Matthew, as well, for the 5 Aussie. Get to Hungary, bro. What, for the race? That'd be sick. I'd love to go to Hungary for the race. That'd be fun. That's kind of a race that, you know, I think kind of gets overlooked. It's not the greatest race in the world, but it's not terrible either. You know what I mean? But there you go. Cider is clear of beer. I agree. I'm good, thank you, Dutsky. I hope you're all doing well. But anyway, I've waffled for enough now. This is what you lot know to expect from me. Okay, so don't act like you're surprised. Oh, why's Tommo waffling? Well, that's what you signed up for. I'm sorry. You clicked that subscribe button. Well, you better have. Double check. Make sure you've done it. Follow this hand-finger combination and go and check. All right. Thank you, Ryan, mate, for the 449. Tommo, what are your thoughts on Checo after them videos of him and that bird after Monaco? Oh, sorry. When you said bird, I thought you meant an actual, like, a pigeon or something. It's weird. I'd love Checo, not what I expect of him. So, look, I'm not a drama channel. I'm not here to, like... Basically, there were some videos that I have seen, I think, what came out, which was, like, Checo was dancing with some woman, and there's some stills that don't look... Because, you know, Sergio's a married man, got kids, and there's some stills. Now, obviously, do you remember, like, what was it? Like, a couple of weeks ago, there were some stills of... it was after Monaco, wasn't it? Of Lewis walking behind the Red Bull. And it still made it look like Lewis was touching the rear wing of the Red Bull. But then I saw the full clip, and it's pretty clear to me that he's just kind of walking past it. Now, look, I'm not here to comment on... I know, the stills don't look great, but... You know, Sergio was obviously off his nut after Monaco. But I'm not going to comment on that, Ryan. I'm not educated enough on what actually happened. You know what I mean? So I don't really feel in a position to comment. But there you go. You know, when you're driving in the public eye, you're gonna have cameras on you at all times, and yeah, the less said about that, the better. Thank you, Zhang, for the Zhang. I apologise for the 5 New Zealand, by the way. BAKU equals 10 times Monaco, 5 times Catalonia, 3 times Miami. That's some big maths. 18 times something. Look, I've got a lot of love for BAKU. We'll do another poll actually in a minute. We'll do another poll. Actually, where did that poll get to? So 67% of you prefer a bit of background music. I think that's enough of a sway for me to just put a little bit. Like, you can hear it slightly, can't you? It's not too loud. It's not dominating the audio experience, right? I hope not, anyway. And thank you, Luisma, for the 5 years. You've been very generous today, you lot. Very generous. Placed a million euro bet on... Wait, what? On Latifi to be pole. I think that's what you've You've said there, Luisma. Well, I mean, Latifi pole would be interesting. Imagine Williams just bring the upgrade of a century and it turns their season around. Oh yeah, everyone say well done Baku as well, by the way. It's the bottle clinking making noise. Right, anyway. End poll. 67%. New poll as we talk about round 8 of the 2022 Formula 1 season. What do you think, Baku? So I'm going to give you 4 options here. Amazing, good, bad. What do you think of Baku? Let me know. Tell me. Give me your thoughts, people. Right? There's what? 1,500 of you here now. Get in the vote. Get in your vote. What do you think of Baku? Kind of like, what do you think of Tottenham? Yeah. I don't want to swear on the live streams. We all know what we think of Tottenham. Right. Thank you, J25 as well, mate. Fiver. Hi, Tommo. I OG your channel. I remember your project. The Project Cars video. That was literally. Thank you, J25. I appreciate it. That's the first video on this channel. Is that video still up? If I like privated that video? I don't actually know, because that was an upload directly from my PlayStation. Yeah, it's still up. 7 years ago. Because I got what sort of time? Yeah, I got the 7th quickest time on my PS4 in the world in 2015. I mean, it wasn't much to shout about. I watched the lap back now, and it's not a very good lap. But I mean, it was good enough at the time, probably because no one was playing Project Cars at the time, I guess. But thank you, J25, I appreciate it. Yes, come on, Azerbaijan, round 8. What do we think? What do we make of the track? Oh wow, okay. 96% of the vote is split between amazing and good. You know what? It's like, I said this in the Checo video, didn't I? It's got everything. It delivers the things that make street circuits fun and interesting, in terms of like very kind of unique topography and walls, like no margin for error. But then it also kind of remedies a lot of the issues, which is, overtaking. Overtaking is not really a problem at Baku, mainly thanks to that long straight. As long as you got one overtaking opportunity, and because it's such a unique, it's so long and it's so wide as well. And then you got the twisty stuff, but everyone's running low aero, like low downforce as well. So then that makes the twisty stuff more interesting, because no one's got any, aerodynamic grip. I think Baku's great. I'd put it in, like, as a track. I think it's a super unique circuit, and yeah, it delivers, like I say, everything you want from a street circuit with not really any of the downsides. The only downsides really with street circuits that I can think of, and this is related to my video for next week as well, is that when you do have a crash in qualifying, or when you go off in qualifying. To be fair, there are some runoffs in Baku. You can go off at certain places. You've got the runoff before the castle chicane. You've got another runoff, second to last proper corner, haven't you? That left-hander before the final left-hander. You've got runoff there. So you do have runoffs, to be fair, in Baku, which does. But a lot of the time, yeah, if you do, was it last year you had Sonoda bin it in qualifying, didn't you? And then Sainz hit him, and so it's always Sainz hit Perez, like, who crashed in front of him in Monaco last year. Hit Sonoda. Did he hit Sonoda last year? Actually, no. Didn't he just spin trying to avoid Sonoda? I think that was it, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. But yeah, I've got a lot of time for Baku. I think it's quickly become, considering like 2016 was a pretty dull race actually, but 2017 onwards, it's been good. Yeah, that was it. You got distracted and then spun. But even then, like, Carlos was able to spin and not hit the wall because there was runoff. So yeah. But there you go. Distracted by... Did he hit... I can't even remember. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so Baku, round 8. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a corker. Although this weekend, I don't know how much of the race I'll actually be able to watch. Or at least qualifying. I don't know. Because it is my stag do this weekend. So I might... Oh, I just realised my hat has 8 on it and it's round 8. Hang on. I can make this work. If I do that. And then... There we go. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. I didn't just realise. I just, it's all a surprise. So I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how long I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch quali or the race, or I don't know. I'm not expecting to. So I just dropped my. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So we'll see how much of the race I actually consume, because I reckon I'll be consuming something else, for most of that weekend. Not Formula One. Proper beers. Well, not beers, obviously, because I hate beer, but you know what I mean. But yeah, big weekend. A few mentioned F2 as well. A few mentioned Formula 2. We'll see. Obviously, Felipe Drogovic is on quite the roll at the minute, isn't he? But we'll see. I think Azerbaijan. If I had to predict F2, I think Darivala will do well. Jehan always. I feel like he's got quite a good record at Baku. But there's a lot of drivers, like we're talking about in F1. There's a lot of drivers who have a good record at Baku. But as for last year, as for 2021, of course, Sergio Perez took the wing, benefiting massively, no question, in what was one of the most exciting races of 2021, no question. You had drivers making mistakes, you had Pirelli tyres blowing up for no good reason, and you had one hell of a podium. We had a sprint race final lap. I've got to be honest, sprint race was a banger. A banger. That 1 lap sprint, that was sick. That was so good. I don't want to be in a position where we're like, I don't know. That was so cool. Like that 1 lap at the end, right? After Max's tyre went boom. Yep, Mark Webber's regressed into a toddler as he screamed. Was it 2 laps? 1 lap, 2 laps, same thing. It was amazing. Oh man, it was so good, wasn't it? And as much as the circumstances, I said this in the video, I think if Red Bull didn't bottle Sergio's pit stop, then, he's arguably coming out ahead of Max. And then you're thinking probably team orders or whatever. But Sergio gave a great account of himself. And as much as, he lucked into the win with Verstappen's tyre blowout, no question. He was there. He was there to capitalise. And if things had gone different, I think on pace, he was... This was by far, this was Sergio's... Because how many races into last season? Was it 8 races in last year as well? I can't remember. Was Baku round 8 last year? I feel like this was the first race that properly showed that Sergio was the right call. You know what I mean? I feel like he stepped up in a way. Was it 6th? There you go. So it was a bit earlier in the season as well. I think this was the first race where he stepped up more than we'd ever seen from Gasly or Albon in that Red Bull. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sick. Fair enough. So yeah, it's interesting race, and vibes podium as well, because yes, Perez has a good record here, but Sebastian Vettel also has a fantastic record. Oh my God, Minton, you little fucker, it just jumped out my skin, man. He's so quiet, he never barks, and when he does, it scares the life out of me. Thank you, Cameron, for the 5, mate, for the stag set. Have a cheap. Shouldn't be paying for nothing. My friend's a cheapskate, so you know. Cheers, Cam, mate. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much, Gazer. Thank you, Brandon, as well, for the 10 ZAR. Very kind of you. And thank you, J25, for joining Friends of Tommo. Thank you, Samuel, for the €5. Who's most likely to bin it in the castle section? Why is it Carlos? I mean, he overshot, didn't he, last year, going into the castle section. So, remains to be seen. Thank you again, Zhang, for the 2 New Zealand. Stupid corner. I am stupid. Exactly. But I said in my video, Perez actually shunted it at the castle section before it was cool, you know? 2017. He did the same thing in practice, I think it was. It can happen. This is what I mean. It's got the punishing section. So the castle section is so tight and twisty, and you're running low drag cars as well. Not that obviously you're going so slow speed that you're not really generating that much aerodynamic grip anyway, but at the same time, come on. It's a great track. Thank you, Matthew, for the 20 Aussie. Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, boy. Get it in your box. I will drink like an Australian. Cheers, Matt. Thank you, Brandon, again, for the 10 ZAR. But yeah, 2021. Yeah, that was good. What else? You had Stroll. Boom. Pop goes to tyre. Max, pop goes to tyre. Restart. Lewis did jump Sergio. You think it's one of them, isn't it? Like you look back at these instances and you think that, you know, this was this race last year and the way the championship finished, it was such a swing race. You know what I mean? If Verstappen's tyre doesn't go, like obviously yes, like if Verstappen's tyre doesn't go, then the rest of history changes in unmeasurable ways. But I'm just saying, right? If Verstappen does get the win, which he was on for, then, you know, the championship doesn't even come down to Abu Dhabi. Well, I mean, it does, but not really. You know what I mean? And then if Lewis doesn't hit the brake magic and he wins, then same thing. You know what I mean? It kind of comes down to Abu Dhabi, but not really, because you've got that points buffer. But they both came away with nil points. And as things, you know, it's interesting looking back at these results and being like, wow, like the fact that it came down to the finest of margins, forgetting about, you know, what happened in Abu Dhabi, in terms of the fact that it came down to the final race, separated by a point. Like, it's mad. But I think, you know, look, obviously, don't get me wrong, right? I think that this is a great opportunity for Sergio Perez to win a second in a row, because I think he clearly likes this circuit. He clearly knows how to get the best out of himself and his machinery at this circuit. And given, you know, how confident he was at Monaco, you got to think that he will be confident and he will be operating near to that ceiling. I think so. I see no reason why that shouldn't be the case. Question is, to beat Max is always a huge order. It's always a massive order. So, you know what I mean? It's like, as much as I think this is a great opportunity for Sergio, don't get me wrong. Let's not get it twisted. I still very much think Verstappen's going to be the Red Bull driver to take the title if Red Bull do win the title. But if Sergio can pick up another win, build some momentum. If he wins, I'll tell you what, I can do this. I should be able to do this. You can't, no, that's the wrong one. I can do this, and then, yeah, okay, so they're split by, he's 15 points behind Max. 15 points and behind Max Verstappen, so there's a circumstance we come out of this race and Sergio Perez is championship leader, for sure. But I think Baku, anything can happen. You know what I mean? It is one of those. Look, maybe I'm underestimating Checo, but I think you could also argue that if I was to prop Sergio too hard, then I'd be underestimating Max, because I think Max is the best driver in F1 at the minute. Right now, I think he is. I acting like there is no Leclerc. Well, yeah, I'm talking about Red Bull. I'm not talking about Ferrari. I'm talking about between the teammates who are in the same car. Because I think that Red Bull, yeah, like Red Bull quick in a straight line, you would anticipate they're going to be... we haven't seen super low. It would be interesting to see like what rear wings they're going to bring. I've seen some kind of... There's been some imagery flirting around Twitter, isn't there? Hey, Blake's here. Hello, Blake. Go subscribe to Break F1. Best F1 YouTuber of 2022. Easy. No cap. But yeah, I'd love to see Sergio deliver. I think this is a great opportunity for him. But we will see. Because don't underestimate Max Verstappen at all. Let's be honest. Yeah, no, what's with all the British bias? I know, right? No way is Mad Max the best driver. Listen, each their own. That's the I think it's the best driver at the minute. But we'll see. We will see. Well, we won't necessarily see because everyone's got different cars. There you go. Am I going to Canadian Grand Prix? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. If you're going to the Canadian Grand Prix on race day, I will be filming a video at the Canadian Grand Prix, and I will want people to be... It's you lot. I mean, I want you lot to be involved if you're there. So I will... Follow me on Twitter at TwomoF1. Tommo with a TW because I only take W's. And Twitter Tommo. And then, yeah, I will post where I'm going to be meeting and doing some stuff there. So that'd be fun. I've got a couple of ideas in my head of what I'm going to do, but I think I know what I'm going to do. Tommo. Yeah, maybe it could be Tommo if you want it to be. Brilliant. But yeah, 2021 Sergio, we've had a different winner every single race of all the 5 Grand Prix we've had so far at Baku. There's been a different winner every time, so maybe this is Alex Albon's chance, just saying. No, I'm not Silverstone, unfortunately, because I'll be on my honeymoon. So there you go. Right, so that is who won last time. Predictions now. Got you lot to vote. Got over 2,000 votes. Put the poll out last night. If you missed it, make sure you subscribed so you see YouTube community posts, or follow me on Twitter so you see my Twitter posts. Because I did ask you lot for your predicciones. Thank you for the 10 Aussie dollars. Sorry, I have no idea how to say your name, but thank you. Appreciate it. Manifesting Alonso podium. Well, it's funny you say that because with your predictions, this is nothing to do with me, right? Your predictions, we have as follows. And look at Alpine, team of the weekend, 19% of the vote. I think Alpine are on for a good weekend here because I think they're very good. I think they've got a car that we're not seeing through mainly Alonso bad luck. We're not seeing as high up the table as we should. Right, so driver of the weekend, Perez takes it, 22% of the vote. Ahead of Sebastian Vettel with 21% of the vote. Both specialists in Baku for sure. Vettel's average finishing positions P3 in the races that he's finished. Sergio's is P3.25 or whatever it was from the video. So Vettel's got a phenomenal record at Baku for sure. Delivered that podium in an Aston Martin last year as well. And then Verstappen just edged out Norris actually for third place in the driver of the weekend poll of the 2,257 votes. Team of the weekend, Red Bull 40%. So big faith in Red Bull. Only 11% went Ferrari. So I think the anticipation is Red Bull is going to have the stronger weekend because they do seem to be quicker down the straights, which is fair enough. But you know, I think the Ferrari is the more complete car, but I think the straight line speed, the kind of glass cannon nature of this Red Bull, I think means that they're probably going to, I would agree with that. I think they're going to have the upper hand this weekend. But race winner Verstappen still gets 37% of the vote ahead of Checo with 30, which, yeah, fair enough. Like, as much as I think this is Sergio's best chance of winning 2 in a row, do I actually think he's going to win? Because I hope he does. But do I actually think, if I had to put money on it, I would be less... Yeah. I wouldn't put money on it, but I think it's a great opportunity. Leclerc only 15% of the vote. I think he's gonna only 15%. Think he's gonna race the win. Race the win. Fantastic English. And then struggle of the weekend. Unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo, which it's not been good. We know this. There are slow speeds. Like there's a lot of slow speed corners at Baku as much as there is the long straight, which is where Daniel seems to be falling down most relative to Lando, carrying the speed, getting the nose in. You know, Lando wants a more understeery car. That's kind of what McLaren have delivered, and Daniel's just not able to make it work. Again, break F1. He gives a full deep dive. He knows because he's bloody Max Verstappen's ex-race engineer, so obviously he knows a bit more than this twat on the internet. But yeah, struggle of the weekend. Ricciardo takes the vote. Tsunoda 14%, which I'm like, what did Yuki do wrong? Because he's had a very good start to the year, I think. Wasn't great in Monaco, but all in all, I think, you know, given we've had 7 races, I think he's given a very good account of himself. He did crash in quad, but he got to Q3 last time in Baku, remember, as well. So as much as he did bin it, we'll see about Tsunoda. And then Hamilton takes 12% of the vote. We'll see. I mean, I think, yeah, with Lewis, he's not had I don't think he's had a bad start. He's been unfortunate. Let's be honest. Like, I don't think there's much of a difference in pace between him and George, but I do think George has had a slight edge on him. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So yeah, weekend prediction. Nothing there I'm massively offended by, to be honest. I think you've all been pretty reasonable. Thank you, Todd, for the 199. Watch Red Bull's reliability issues come back. I mean, maybe. That's the thing. Because you're going like the clappers for what, 2.2 kilometers of pretty much arrow straight line. Certainly full throttle. Longest time full throttle. Up there with Spa, probably. With the long kind of straight, but then it does have that left-hander. But I think you can take that full throttle, can't you? At Spa? You can't say unfortunate 7 races in a row. What do you mean? No, Lewis has been unlucky with safety car relative to George a couple of times now, hasn't it? But I don't think the pace is that much different. But I do think George is ahead. Yeah, no shout out for Lando. Fair. I think I'm pretty sure the Baku straight's longer than the Saudi straight, isn't it? I know the Ricciardo shout is based on proper evidence, but as an Australian, yeah, you got to back your boy. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm. That is the nature of the nature of doing this is that, unfortunately, right, whatever I do, in the mind of someone, I'm always gonna lose and win, right? If I prop Sergio too hard, then I'm, overrating Sergio and underrating Max. If I don't prop him enough, then I'm underrating Sergio. And the same with Ricciardo. If I'm critical with him, then I'm too critical. But then if I'm not critical with him, I'm being biased because I like him. It's just gotta. You learn to accept it with this job. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I'm never gonna win in some people's minds, but that's why you just gotta. And that's what I say this to anyone, right? If you're a YouTuber or just some random person posting on Twitter, right? Just speak your mind. Not everyone, people are gonna disagree with you, but it's fine because you're never gonna say something that's gonna appease everyone. If anything, my stance typically, where I think most instances, the reality of somewhere in the middle most of the time. Sure, there's some instances where it's clearly one driver's fault or clearly one side of the argument, right? For, like when, I don't know, Max pushed Lewis half a mile off the track in Interlagos, like that's slam dunk. That's clearly like a penalty, obviously. It's not even debatable. But then most of the time there is like nuance. There is something in the middle. But then when you take that middle position, you get both the most vocal angry sides from either end. Then they go for you because why are you sitting on the fence? That they're funny. You know what I mean? But I do actually think if I properly like went full bias and was like, right, I'm going to pick one driver to just fully bias, I would actually get less stick because I would be, all of the negative comments would be drowned out by all of the fellow blind bias people just licking my arse, you know what I mean? Metaphorically, of course. Pointy, thank you for the £3. Enjoy your stag do, but don't do it. Very good, Pointy. Thank you. Don't you worry. That was good. Thank you for the £3, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you, Martin, for the 50 CZK. Maybe first time Russell out P5. Maybe. I just don't know where I'll sit with that Mercedes at the minute. Because Monaco, it was the qualifying gap between the Mercedes and the Ferrari hasn't changed all season. Like the average gap in terms of time hasn't really changed all season. So as much as because obviously Mercedes have been focusing their effort on getting rid of the porpoising and not on improving the performance of the car. Their time has been focused on fixing a problem, not just optimizing what they already have. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of different. Whereas other teams have not been struggling with the porpoising as much. So I still think it's going to take. I think we've seen the potential now in this Mercedes that it is there, but I think just getting to that in time, because Mercedes have not only got to improve their car and optimize it, but they've got to improve it more than everyone else relatively, more than Red Bull and Ferrari relatively. Otherwise, yes, Mercedes might get half a second quicker, but then if the Red Bull and Ferrari get 0.4 quicker, then Mercedes have only gained by a tenth. You know what I mean? So, development race for you. Thank you, Sam, as well, for the €5. Do you think Aston will provide Seb a car to place top 4 again? Maybe. I mean, they won't have. I guess they would have learned a bit from the slow speed stuff at Monaco that they can apply to Baku, right? But I think there's a lot of unknown with the Aston Martin at the minute because they've had 2 races with these new side pods. Spain was just mad because it was so hot. Monaco, again, it's a very, very unique track. I don't know how much you can learn from Monaco and apply that down the line. I'm cautiously optimistic that I think Aston Martin will be strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them now. They've kind of got into that midfield scrap with your kind of AlphaTauri. I feel like they're probably on that kind of AlphaTauri level now, and they've kind of left Williams behind a bit. But we'll see. We will see. Right. Cool. Amazing. Lovely. Right. Let's. What am I doing next? Let's just go back to main screen. Oh, actually, let's go back to this screen. Or should we go? Let's go main screen so you can see my full face. Hello, everyone. Would you like to see Minton? I'm not leaving yet. Don't worry. I'll show you Minton, and then we can. I'll answer some of your random questions in chat. Right, come here, mate. Oh, hello, sleepy boy. There he is. This is gonna be. I'm not gonna see him for a while. Yeah. Hey. This is me scratching his chest. He makes some noises into the microphone. We do. Oh yes. Here he is. The boy wonder. Stop pushing the microphone away. Boy. Right, here you go. His little bed's right here, next to me. He likes to be close. Right, questions. So, Kaval Shah asked, do you think De Vries will replace Latifi mid-season? He's making a ton of mistakes. Just Peter doesn't care about the money. The thing is, so I actually asked a question. Actually, I'll get the screen share up, right? I want to get your thoughts here. So I asked a question, which I still don't know really where. I feel like a lot of you disagreed, but I'm still inclined to believe my perspective, to be honest. Right, this was let's get this nicely cropped for the frame. So I asked this question on YouTube community, right? So some of you might have answered. Let's just get this nicely cropped here. Oh, there we go, look at that. So my question was, will F1's recent popularity, growth and influx of commercial interest plus the cost cap mean pay drivers are soon a thing of the past? So, the reason I said this is because typically, historically, pay drivers have been, at the middle to lower field teams, right? So, for example, in this era, we haven't seen a driver who is in F1 not on merit be at a top team, so like a Mercedes or a Red Bull or Hamilton, Vettel, Verstappen. These are not pay drivers in the sense, and when we say pay drivers, because yes, I mean all drivers need money to get into F1, okay, that's obviously true, but pay driver in the sense that they are there primarily because of the money they bring in when there are clear alternative options who are more proven, okay, appear to have more talent, okay. So for example, you say that, so is Perez considered a pay driver? Do I think Perez is there primarily because of the money he brings in? No, I don't. But again, it's like Lando's dad's a multi-millionaire. Does that mean he's a pay driver? No. Did that money help him get the opportunities and get the experience and to get to where he is now? Of course it did. But I do think, right, so hear me out on this, okay? Because I've seen a few, and I think most of the replies are no, okay? But I've read them. I still think I'm right. I still think I'm kind of right. So again, like a driver like, again, Latifi, I think a driver still like Stroll, Zhou Guanyu, clearly. Again, when you consider the alternative options, are these drivers in the sport primarily because of the financial ties that come with them? And obviously Stroll with his dad owning the team. I mean, yes, of course. I think that's fair to say. A driver like Mick, I mean, Mick does bring sponsorship money, for sure. He's got his Under Armour stuff. He brings kind of the Schumacher name. I'm sure that has some value benefit to Haas. He did also win Formula 2 in his second season. So I'm less... You know what? Again, it's one of them things that it's like... It's not a black and white thing. Every driver has a degree of pay driver-esque about them, right? Every driver, especially the, big commercial property drivers, your Hamiltons, your Verstappens, I mean, they bring a lot of sponsor and a lot of money into those teams beyond their driving, but they are primarily in these positions because of their merit and talent. Now, obviously, the reason I said that I feel like, I think with the sport growing, right, the smaller teams are going to get more opportunities for sponsors to come in and slap their name on the car and pay for the team. Now, in an ideal world, all 10 teams will have all drivers, the best 20 drivers in the world in there on merit, because that's what's going to win them. Like, you can pay, unfortunately, I think we're kind of seeing it with Latifi at the minute. Albon's got 2 points finishes and a P11. So in 7 races, he's got into or on the cusp of the points 3 times now. Now, that Williams, the difference between finishing 10th and 9th and 8th and whatever, like, those differences are huge in terms of prize money. There's still a difference, not as much of a difference as there used to be, but there's still a difference. But even more so, the higher you're running up the grids, the more, like, I'm not being funny, when do we see, when both Williams are having a bad race, right? When both teams, when are we seeing them on camera? We're not. The sponsors aren't getting as much value for their placement. So you've got, as a team owner, you've got the decision between taking a paid driver who can inject, I think, I don't know, I'm just getting this off the top of my head. I think I read somewhere that Latifi's sponsorship, Safina, is bringing, I think it's about 30 million, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if it's exactly that, but I think it's around that. Now, as a team manager, do you take a driver who's Latifi's level, which is like not a, let's be honest, in the broad scheme of things, he's not a bad driver. Like he got second place in Formula 2. Yes, it was in his third season, but he's still a very competent racing driver and he's had some good results. But do you take a weaker driver compared to someone who's more proven and more exciting and showing more, like a Oscar Piastri, for example, or a Nick De Vries, who won F2 in the same season that Nicky came second. He won Formula E as well. He's kind of the same age. So do you go with Latifi, who brings that money in, or do you go with a driver like a De Vries, maybe, for example, who is more likely, so it seems anyway, to be able to get closer to Alex, so then to maybe run higher up the field, so then to maybe score more points for the team to finish higher, and then get more commercial interest. You know what I mean? I feel like with the cost cap as well. Like, yes, I think a lot of these smaller teams aren't even getting to the cost cap. It's a cap, remember. It's not a minimum spend, it's a maximum spend. And it's easy for Red Bull and Ferrari and Mercedes to get to that cap. But I do think that over time, teams are going to, you can take the bag. Obviously, ideally, I mean, this is why Sergio's like an absolute dream, because he brings the performances and he brings a ton of commercial sponsorship from Mexico. So, you know what I mean? I just think that there's always going to be this battle. But I do, for me, and most of the comments are like, yeah, but the small teams will always still want money. And yes, obviously, there's a cost cap that they still want to earn money. I understand that. But I still, I feel it makes sense that, if these smaller teams can get more sponsors on board, which they should do because F1's getting bigger, and more brand, especially the audience is getting younger as well. So you're getting different types of sponsors than you would have in the past. I mean, it makes sense to me that if you're getting more revenue there, there's less of a need to compromise your on-track performance by getting a weaker driver who brings money. There's less of a need, because again, a lot of teams they've needed pay drivers. Like, in terms of, you need that money to keep the lights on, to keep people employed. But I think with the cost cap, and again, more sponsors coming in, prepared to throw their money, and all they ask for in return is for you to stick their logo on the car, then, you know what I mean? I think it makes sense. And I don't think it'd be I don't think it'd be an overnight thing, but I don't see why not. Like, if I'm a team principal, I think there's more of at least a decision to make there than there used to be. That's the way I feel anyway. But these teams just need better merch, honestly. I agree, Maxim. I agree. It is a risk, but again, I just think that, and again, if you get a pay driver, you can put that money towards developing a better car potentially. But again, if you don't need that money, if that money's like a nice to have but not a necessity to get to where you want to be with car development because you've got more sponsors, then surely you're less likely to take on a pay driver who's not. And when I say pay driver, I mean someone who's not there primarily because of their driver talent. Because again, there are plenty of drivers who bring plenty of commercial but are still absolutely shit hot, you know what I mean? Oh, Alfa Romeo livery. What are we saying? Why is everyone tweeting Alfa Romeo livery? Are you lot winding me up, like, collectively at the same time, or oh no, I don't think you are. Oh my words. Oh wow. Okay. Right. Screen share coming up. Alfa Romeo livery. Okay. That is. I I don't like it. I'll be honest. I don't actually like it. It's got like what are these little scales? I mean, I get it. You know, green, white, reds, Italian flag. But I don't like it. I'll be honest. And you know I love the Alfa Romeo livery from this year. It's interesting how just like changing that completely changes the feel of the livery, doesn't it? God, we used to have a Russian flag on a car. Now we've got the Italian flag on the car. F1 teams just love running a flag. Yeah, I want to see some better photos. Let me see if I can find some better images. Got that literally got. So what's this? Oh, it's from Decal Spotters. Decal Spotters, fantastic Twitter page. Would thoroughly recommend. Give Decal Spotters a follow, by the way. Alfa Romeo made a slight update to its livery for engine cover now featuring Ibrido, Italian for hybrid. Okay. Oh, see, I did notice this on the. Interesting. So it's Alfa Romeo's hybrid promo. So not going full electric. Interesting. I mean, I'm sure they've got full electric stuff. Let's see if I can find some more images. It's a no from me. Let's see if I can find some more pictures. Alfa Romeo. Because it looks like they're just kind of leaky images at the minute. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Ha! That's good. That's a good. It's a good tweet. Good tweet that. Good tweet. Right. Yeah. So there you go. There's. I don't think it's permanent. No. I mean, look, it's drawing attention to it. We're talking about it, which is ultimately the point. So whether it looks good or not, to be fair, like, look, I'm going to reserve too much judgment, because I think once we actually see the proper images, maybe it'll look a bit better. But as I'm seeing it right now, like I just tweeted, it's a no from me. But I'm open to my mind being changed. I'm open to my mind being changed. Oh, here we go. There's something else kicking off. What's sport? Tweet something like this. I'm seeing a few people. Drivers will be allowed to run their cars across the pit lane entry and exit lines at this weekend's Azerbaijan Grand Prix. They can go across the lines as long as the full tyre does not go beyond. This just feels like. It just feels childish now that we're still talking about this. Oh, if you go 0.7 millimeters across the line, I just don't care. I said something I just don't care. I just don't care. Like, whatever. Do what you want. I don't care. Oh, dear. Anyway, right. Massey, I miss you, bro. Look, what I will say is I think the race director job is a harder job than most of us give it credit for, myself included. So there you go. Can you do a new team principal tier list? It has changed a lot. Maybe. It hasn't changed enough, I don't think. I want to see some more teams in the sport. Maybe then. Maybe then. I want to make sure I haven't. Mate, fantastic captain with the 79.99 Aussie dollars. What an absolute. With Mo. Is that Mo from Simpsons? Is it Mo Sislak? Is that his name? Thank you. Screw the salary cap. I don't have one. Here's this R&D. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. You're very, very kind. Very, very kind. That will be going on. I don't know. Treats for Minton. He's got expensive taste, my dog. Fantastic captain. You are fantastic. Thank you. Very kind. Very, very kind. Hello, Drac here. Hello. What's my fantasy team doing? No idea. I can't log into my F1. I haven't been able to log into it like a few weeks ago, and now I just can't be bothered with it anymore. So I have no idea how my F1 fantasy team's doing. I'm sorry. It won't let me log in for some reason. I have no idea why. Oh yeah. Red Bull dropped the. They dropped the case on Aston, didn't they, as well? I saw an article about that earlier in the week. Sorry, Drazier. Yeah, they dropped the case, didn't they, on Aston Martin? I saw that earlier this week, so that was fun while it lasted. I guess they did have sufficient proof, or maybe Red Bull just couldn't be asked. Thank you, Cameron, as well, for the £2. Any tips for making vids like yours and Revels? Get a Skillshare membership and learn how to edit. And get a good microphone. Audio is the most important thing. More important than having a fancy camera. You don't need this. Josh doesn't have this, and he's bigger than me. You know what I mean? What else? There was something else I was going to say as well. I actually can't remember what it was. I was going to say something, and I forgot. Higher bootleg version of Will Buxton. I'll take that. Although I'm very different to Will. We're very, very different people. But there's room for both of us, you know what I mean? And room for everyone to eat at the table. Everyone. AM, good luck for your physics GCSE in half an hour. Oh, GCSEs, man. Those were the days. Throwback. I got an A in science, so get that A. What A star? Cleverer than me. Not fast enough to bother. Maybe not, Chris. Maybe not. Maybe not. What mic do I use? I use a Rode pod mic. What's that, £100? I mean, it's a lot cheaper than the Shure SM7B, which everyone seems to use, which is a very good mic, but it's like £400 or £500. So I'm all right, thanks. Tommo for DTS. Mate, if DTS came calling and wanted me to do a bit of talking head on DTS, I'd be all over that, mate. You know I'm an advocate for DTS. I think you can't criticize something that's not for you. It's like me going downstairs and switching on, I don't know, Cartoon Network and watching. I actually used to like Cartoon Network. It's like me putting on High School Musical and then being like, oh, this is rubbish. Well, yeah, it's not for me. You know what I mean? Oh, with GCSE's numbers now. I use A letters back in the day. DTS stands for Tom. Yeah, drive, Tommo, survive. Where did I buy this cap? I got this cap from 8 Sleep, who sent me to Miami. Big up 8 Sleep. I've got my 8 Sleep thing coming soon as well. My 8 Sleep mattress, which I'm buzzing for. What do you think of benzodium controversy? Oh yeah, I didn't really read into this. But yeah, so what did... Hang on. So Mohamed Bensoudyem, who's the new head of the FIA, basically, isn't he? He is FIA president, that's it. So it's one of them that... So basically, there's quotes from him saying, essentially... It's like a long story short, like, drivers back in the day never used to campaign for anything. And then he talks about kind of... It's like pushing your views versus just racing, I guess. The thing is, right... It's one of these things as well, because from what I've read and understand, I don't think it was an interview done in English, so I think it's been, I could be wrong here, but I think it's not been done in English, so I think it's been, what's the word I'm looking for? Translated, idiot. I think it's been translated, I think. So I'm reluctant, because I don't know. Other than just seeing a print screen that I think Engine Mode posted, I don't actually know. Yeah, what's hang on, and she must post something again. FIA clarified they in no way wish to shut down the activism of the drivers. Now they've deleted it. I don't know, man. I mean, if he is saying what it's been transcribed as he is saying, then it's mad. Like, I can't believe that that's. I struggle to believe that that's what he actually meant, because I can't, like, that would be so dumb, such a stupid, tone deaf, ridiculous thing to say with all the, you know, work that, you know, the sport has done. Like I'm sorry, you can't. How can, if what Ben Sulayem has said, which is like basically like the drivers shouldn't be campaigning. I don't really know what he's trying to say, right? Well, what's the sport's been bloody like got end racism stuff all over it. So the sport's allowed to campaign for things it thinks is right, but the drivers aren't. Like what? Like that doesn't. I don't get it. I mean, so surely that can't be what he meant, surely. Because that's literally what F1's been promoting. So I would be shocked if that's what was actually meant by those comments. Because if it is, then that's not only fucked up, but that is massively at odds with what F1's been standing for, you know what I mean? But whatever. I'd rather talk about it when there's more like clarity and information about it, to be honest. Anyway, anything else? What do I think of Dark Viper's React vids? I completely agree with him. And I think people are too scared to speak out because these React channels are too big. But don't actually realise the damage that they do. And how, especially someone like Hassan, calls himself a socialist. What a joke. Anyway, right. I think I'm going to knock this on the end because it's been over an hour now. Wow, I've waffled for a bit, actually. Sorry, Platobium? I don't know how to pronounce your name. For just getting here, but I'm leaving now. So thank you all for coming. There will not be a qualifying stream because I will almost definitely be on my stag do for qualifying. So I'm almost certain I'm going to miss that. And I might miss the race as well. But I will make the effort to watch it and then do my post-race. My post-race might be a bit later on Monday. Depends when I get to watch the race. I don't know. We'll see. Can we see your dog? Yes, of course you can see Hinton once again. Hello, mate. Are you sleeping? Took him for a walk this morning. I'm going to go to the driving range. Because... Hello. Because I've got my golf clubs. So I'm going to... My old golf clubs, I got them from my mum's. And I'm going to go to the driving range after this and hit some balls. Because I want to play some golf. Because I haven't done that for years. Stream the stag do, imagine. Imagine. Right. Cheers everyone for coming. Thank you again for all the support. Thank you again for the super generous super chats as well, by the way. You lot went off. Thank you again, Matt, for the 10 Aussie. Shots for... Oh, shots over here cost a bit more than they do in Australia, mate. I'm afraid. But yeah, cheers everyone for coming. Thank you all for the support. I will see you on Monday for the post-race stream of the 2022 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Come on, Checo! Yes! Vamos! Get it done, Sergio. Otherwise, honestly, right, if Checo has a bad Grand Prix, there will be, and I know a lot of people will just be like winding me up, like, oh, terrible video, Tommo, you called it. But there will be some people who will be genuinely angry with me because I've jinxed it. That's crazy, isn't it? If I had that much power, I wouldn't be wasting my time on F1 YouTube. I would be changing the world. But anyway, cheers again, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Much appreciated. See you on Monday. Enjoy the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Bye-bye. 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 Bye bye. Bye bye.